first motion as it translates the corrupted one's speech. Amble neatly into violet. Wow, instill, reprieve, instill, longing, softly tales of the minor gods and dancing cups and rain streaks. Give us a sign, O nurturing earth, qua qua qua, confession, we are so young. We can't see any indication this is Oleg's child. I see. This is kind of like... These guys are... It is the king, this is understood. You feel the clockwork in your skull grinding to a furious motion as it translates the corrupted one's speech. Give us this day our drifting motes. Forgive us our small umbrages as we forgive Mrs. Baker of 37 Cron Road Progress. Nothing, nowhere, no when. Chimera. What did it mean by it? A strict berg is falling down, falling down, falling down. You can't see any indication that this is Oleg's child. Okay, you feel the clockwork working, blah blah blah. Beginning at the end, for want of finitude, aporia. Only the facts, if you please, alas. Threshing engine 3 cannot be saved. Why won't you listen? In catatonic bustle round and round, congratulations, you have been accepted. Away, we'll haul away together. Into Royal Project Horoscope. Alas, Threshing Engine 3 has suffered yearning unbefitting of its station. Bastards, useless fucking bastards. Edict, no one listens. Your father sent me. I'm here to help. It stares at the locket, as if hypnotized. Lemerance. Ah. The corrupted one becomes visibly agitated as its movements and speech. Edict, stop slouching. Water trickling gently through the park. Please listen. Alas, fault in status check. Unlatched receipts. He loves you, dearie, even if he doesn't show it. Alas, cannot exist. Subject, thy petition is hereby granted. Please listen. Entreaty. We are sorry to inform. Can you tell me your name? Dear Pa, I am writing to tell you, clean each crystal head thrice daily until record of fault. Help us, we are lost, and enclose this locket, which I hope shall always remind you. Please listen. All prior common names are hereby annulled and shall be dust. Come on, we have to go. Sincerely, your loving daughter, Afro Michigan. Okay, so it is Afro. Figured. Did you say Afra as in Chief Inspector Afro? Interpreter Afro? It's not clear whether she can understand you. Attention, please evacuate immediately. For your own, so we'll no more go aerobing. Please help us. Alas, cannot exist. Afra, there's no time. Unlatched receipts. It's a lot to get back to Oleg. Oof, here, you should be the one to have this. The creature seems confused at first, then she takes it gingerly in both hands, apparently entranced by it, and does not speak again. You've done what Oleg asked of you, and he'll be waiting to hear what you have found, but perhaps first you should try to learn the whole truth. What was the purpose of Project Horoscope, and what role did it play in Afro Michigan's fate? And how is she connected to the other Afro you've met before? Only one could answer these questions. Is the man whose name is stamped all over the horoscope files. Kunio Khan, the King's Speaker. Okay, this is getting wild. How'd you get on in there? The last one looked like it wanted to make a proper mess of you. You didn't tell me that the corrupted spoke sixfold cipher. Sixfold? You mean that you understood that gobbledygook? I see now. You've got one of those fancy machinist skull implants. I hope you had it in edifying dialogue. One of them told me her name. I think she was asking me for help. Cohen looks perturbed. Its name. You sure you heard that right? That's definitely weird. I suppose that supports my my vestigial memory theory, assuming it wasn't some name it heard around the camp. Look, I know it's unsettling, but they do this sometimes. The last machinist we saw here thought it was some sort of reflex action, like rigor mortis. Try not to lose too much sleep over it, eh? Anything else you want to know? Do the machinists know how to talk to these things? Yeah, sort of. There was this cog who visited last year. Spent hours listening to them, taking notes. Never seen anyone write so fast. He had one of those implants too. He was pretty tight-lipped, but I gathered he didn't learn much. That it was like talking to a lunatic, or one of those big insects that mimics your voice. They're saying words, but there's no deeper meaning, sound, and fury in it. Anything else you want to know? Right. Thank you for your time. What else can I do for you? Stay safe, Cohen. Alright, so we gotta find the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. I guess we should talk to Afra. Yeah, we should beat up Sunil. Return to Afra in the park for office after nightfall for your next task. Alright, let's go talk to Afra and then Sunil. Get out of my way. Is that a delusion? That is a delusion. I should upgrade my thing, that way I can trick Sunil into telling me the truth. I don't think he's gonna tell me the truth. Doorman turns you away. You need 45 charm away. Okay, we are at but we could easily get enough. We just gotta teleport away and back again. We gone up here? I think we did. I'm pretty sure we can hop in here. Fellas. I'm sure we can get in there. Oh, I got the skill of jumping. There we go. Oh, that's right. I think I came in here, but I can't get out now. Let's go talk to Afra. Probably should go over there. It could be neat to stream Digimon visual novel tactics. Yeah, I saw that one. It's funny because like the thing doesn't show you what the gameplay looks like for the tactical part. But yeah, I would be interested. I've been like thinking about getting one of the Digimon games. Either that one or the other one, which I guess is more like Pokemon-ish. Kind of like the classic, just like turn-based fighting back and forth thing. Okay, wait, I want to go to the ball corner. Is this way? Wait, I'll figure it out. I have like a couple days to like, before the Steam sale ends, to figure out which ones I'll buy. Which games I'm buying, which games I don't. This one. Yeah, the Cyber Sleuth one. That one. Which I guess is like 2 or 3 games in one. And I think there's another one, but the other one's like a... I don't know what the other one's like. But yeah, I don't know, it's been a while since I played any Digimon games at all. Just write your destination. We're going to Hollow Town. This is cool too. I also like the pet racing sim, like the original toy. I think Next Order is that one. Next Order is the one. Yeah, I think it is Next Order. But yeah, like the ones I remember were kind of like that, where you do the racing parts. And like I guess that you would battle them, but you wouldn't control any of them, so you had to kind of like make a team. And those were for, I think, the Game Boy Advance, maybe, or DS. Which were fun. I don't know, sometimes it's fun just to have like your monsters just do whatever they want. Even if they make terrible choices. Alright, touch this funny statue. Got a buff. Now we should be able to charm. Charm the doorman. Alright, we're going to the Clockwork Kingdom. Yeah, Next Order is like the original toy where you raise it and eventually it dies and stuff, so you have to raise up a new one. Oh, they die. Terrible. That's crazy. But yeah, I guess that's how... That was how it was back in the day. But does it like die like it's reborn into like an egg? Or is it like technically a new, different Digimon? Because I guess I never considered it that much, especially with the Tamagotchis or the other ones. Yeah, it becomes an egg. Alright, we got this one, we're going this way. Okay, I'll have to see. Either one of those would be great, because I don't really have... I guess the other game I have is Ni no Kuni, which I still haven't played. Which I guess is the closest thing to Digimon, which is probably not that close at all. Alright, we have to go up. That's usually I choose games. I look at the ones that I have to finish playing. We got a delusion. Glimmer of delusion. Okay, now we go back to talk to Afro. What is going on over there? Oh, we died. you want more Pokemon style though? Did you ever finish Cassette Beast? No, I didn't even start it yet. I just have it. That was another one that I have to play. I heard it was good. Did you play it? The only thing I've been playing off stream, and I haven't gotten to it yet, was just like the Pokemon roguelike game that somebody made. I already forgot what it was called. But that game has no friendship. It's all about, I don't know, I guess metagaming. Okay, we need to talk to Afro, we need to talk to Sunil. Let's talk to Sunil first. Probably gonna have to stab him or something. Probably have to get revenge. Are you Sunil? I don't remember. The comatologist. This guy, Sunil. Sunil, King's Speaker. Speak quickly, citizen. My time is in high demand. No, I'm not gonna tell you. That's crazy. Let's have a little chat about Project Horoscope. Sunil narrows his eyes at you. Am I meant to recognize that name? You're telling me that was some other Sunil Khan's name all over the project files. Sunil looks at you with a hint of surprise the first time you've seen him offbound. How did you... You tell Sunil what you discovered about Oleg's daughter Afra. When you're finished, he sighs. My, you have been inquisitive. Were your loyalties not so obviously suspect, you might even have made a good interpreter. So what? So what is it you imagine you will get from me? I just want to know the truth. I guess Oleg deserves to know the truth. The things recorded in the Library of Untruths are fictions. They never happened. We are discussing imaginary hypotheticals. Do you understand? Sure, this is all only a fairy tale. Oddly, Sunil smiles. In a certain land, in a certain kingdom, very far away from here, yes, quite so. In a certain land, there was a king with magical powers. One day, the king's retainers asked if he could use his magic to transform people into their best selves. The king agreed, but first ordered a test. The king's retainers would scour the land to find 6 people who between them embodied all the variations in character and temperament. The king would then multiply each candidate 6-fold, changing every copy in a different way. Oh, I see, so Afra is the 6th one. The original candidates would remain unchanged to see what would happen when the king did nothing. And to keep the test pure, the king would make all 36 subjects forget they were ever part of it. Alright, is that why the king wouldn't grant Oleg's daughter's wishes? There's no Oleg in this tale, but yes, the fictional king we are discussing could not allow the original 6 subjects to be magically altered in any way, lest the experiment become tainted. The 6th candidate, Afra, was wild and disobedient, showing little promise, and yet it was one of their copies, the 6th, in fact, who proved the wisest of all. And so the king was satisfied and began using his magic to create many more good and faithful subjects. It was a great sorrow when the original Afra was consumed by a plague unleashed by the king's enemies. But eventually the plague was defeated and everyone, or almost everyone, lived happily ever after. No, people are definitely not living happily ever after. So, there ends the fairy tale, and there ends your telling of it, if you wish for a happy ending of your own. Is this how the corruption started with Project Horoscope? Oh, would you care to explain your logic? You gave your king power to alter people, then people began turning into monsters. Don't you think that's a bit suspicious? Neil examines you silently for some time. You must think you're very clever indeed. like a child who sees a house burned down and believes the wood is to blame. That the corruption is entangled with the king's power of alteration is trivially true, and the guild has never denied it. The real question is, who or what is thwarting those powers' correct operation? But it is abundantly clear that you know nothing of the king's magic, and I have better things to do than indulge misapprehensions of children. Very well, that's all. Are we finished here? I'll leave you to your work. Alright. Well, that was wild. Yeah, they are. They're doing shenanigans over here. Alright, let's go find Oleg. Tell him that his life is over. Everything he's cherished is gone. It was all for the kingdom. Oh wait, it's this one. Not that one, it's this one. Alright, Oleg. Oh, he's standing up, he's got a sword. He's gonna do crime. You find Oleg absorbed in some kind of word puzzle. He is sober, but when he glances up, you see bags under his eyes. You again. Have you come to throw in the towel? I found your daughter. Her name was Afra. Oleg stares at you for a long time without visible emotion. You are trying to scam me. You just picked that out of some book you read. She'll be 36 this year. She worked on a farm in Istrik. She wanted to come home to Ferropolis, but the king denied her. She wanted to go to the technical school, but they sent her to a factory, and then they took away her medicine, so she got fired. She asked the king to change her body, but it refused. At one point, she got arrested for wearing the wrong clothes. Oleg looks at the wall. He starts to reach for a bottle, then stops. Afra, what kind of name is that? Must have been Genevieve's idea. I would have never chosen it. Well, you used the past tense, so I assume it's not good news. Did I tell him about Project Horoscope? That sounds like a terrible idea. We'll do it. Actually, it's complicated. You tell Oleg the whole story, from the cleanup camp to your confrontation with Sunil. At one point, his hands begin shaking, so he hides them in his lap. I had suspicions, of course, that my forgetting was no accident. We all know the guild changes people, normal people, not just crooks and saboteurs. If you are observant, you see signs everywhere, only you can never be sure who is safe to tell. He shakes his head. Special project. I guess I ought to feel honored. They should have looked after her and given her an easy job, a pension, at least a fucking medal. Well then, do you still have my locket? I left it with your daughter. It seemed like the right thing to do. You see his temper start to flare. He opens his mouth to yell, but something inscrutable deserts him at the last moment, and he slowly sags back into his chair, staring at the table. Sentimental crap, but, he sighs, perhaps it is fitting. We're not the queens of the ancient surface buried with their belongings. Oleg looks up at you, clearly struggling for words. The way this ended is no fault of yours. You have given me answers. I am in your debt. Wait a minute, this isn't over. Remain silent. A debt like this can never be made swear, but let me at least give you a down payment. Clockwork Smuggler's Key. This key was kindly donated by a smuggler we picked up. In a polite and civil conversation, he told us that it unlocked a stolen royal freight capsule jettisoned from a ship while flying over one of those outlying islands nobody visits. The island is only reachable by air, but you can bet there's treasure in that capsule. It was going to be my retirement plan until somehow the key vanished from our stockpile. Oh well. Happens all the time. Now I must ask one more favor, not for me, but for my daughter. Take this candle to the missing persons notice board after dark, light it, and let that be an end. Let me ask you something else before I go. Oleg's expression turned sour. What now? Can a man not be left to grieve in peace? Ooh. This would be the meanest thing to say. Don't you see you're part of this? Your job upholds the regime that got her killed. Corrupted or not, Afra recognizes the locket. She remembered you. Are you going to say that some part of her is still in there? That maybe there's a way to save her? These are foolish tales people tell themselves because they are scared of the truth. Just as a corpse may gasp and twitch hours after death, so the corrupted vomit up chunks of the person they replaced. What you spoke to was only an echo, like a ghost. Besides, what would I do? Break her out of the cage? Smuggle her past quarantine? Hide her in my cupboard? Then we would both be destroyed. My daughter is gone. Whatever the thing is, has her body now, let them burn it. Now please, no more questions. What else is there to say? There are versions of your daughter that survived. Don't you want to meet them? I'm happy for them, but they are not my daughters. You say they were altered by magic, then they are new people. If they are anyone's children, they are like the king's. They are the king's. Let's the Majesty look for them if he wants. Now please, no more questions. Alright, that's all I wanted to know. Good, well, you have the candle. Goes back to his word puzzle. Farewell, Oleg. Oleg says nothing. You leave him sitting in his cold little apartment, absorbed in his puzzle. Well, that was a sad ending to this. Alright. Notice board at night, and then Afra at night. Oh, this is all part of this King's Sig twisted plot. No, I fell. Down with the cores. Alright, we gotta get out of here. Gotta get back to that hotel. King's favor, pets. Welcome to the Squeaky Wheel Tea House. What can old Baba Zenya do for ye? Do you have any rooms for rent? The Skyward Suite is yours for 5 coins. If you don't mind sleeping there, I'll take it. Zenya stubs out her cigarette and begins rolling another. Right ye are, pets. The room's upstairs on the other end of the... Alright. Go... for nightfall. Light that candle. Candle time. Light a candle for Oleg's daughter. You place Oleg's candle among the others and light a wick. A soft green glow suffuses the leaves of the paper, each one marking a life and a name. You think about Oleg's daughter and her sisters and all the people who there will never be any candles. And you think about the faces you saw on your way here. What have they lost that they won't let themselves mourn? Whose absence do they feel without even knowing it? How many are pretending to not see the abyss for fear of being dragged into? How many think it could never happen to them? Behind you, someone begins to sing, croaking and hesitant at first. No words, just a mournful, keening tune. Something like an elegy, something like a howl. A prayer, a promise, and a hymn for the missing. I gotta log it. You embrace the delusion. Cool. So we gotta log it. I'll lock it really good. A locket that increases its wearer's stamina threshold, which makes long-term fatigue less severe. When open, this locket shows a peculiar forest that appears to move as if it's alive. There's no glass, invigorating vapors spill through. What am I wearing anyway? I'm wearing rings. I'm guessing the locket goes here. So bad with this menu. Alright. Cosmos Cloak. Weightless Glove. A glove imbued with gravity-defying gem helps negate fatigue during combat. Damage penalty from attacking with low stamina is less severe when worn, making... So this negates... I feel like this is better. Alright. Earthen Thief. Our charm is 60 now with a buff. Oops. We are buffed. Alright, let's talk to Afra. What's going on over here? Come on, Afra. Afra's mechanical arm gives you a fluid salutation. How goes our task, friend? It'd be funny if she knows about this. Afra, I have something important to tell you about your past. Afra's brows wrinkle. My past? What do you mean? Tell her what you discovered about Project Horoscope. Afra listens intently with growing horror, and for the first time you've met her, she seems at loss for words. Aye, God's alive, that's horrible. All those Afras, they could have been me, and I could have been them. They were me, and I was them. Why me? Why did I deserve to flourish, and they to die? I never knew I had so many sisters. I thought I was changing the king, changing the system, but the king made me. Yet, it also made my sisters, left them to die. So all of us were expressions of its majesty's will. She gazes past you to somewhere far away. All my life I wondered why I was here, in this broken world. What I was for. Through all my days, as a young engineer. All the indignities I bore. Now I know there was a reason. She meets your eyes with a look of intense determination. Not many people have the privilege of such a purpose. What happened to my sisters must never happen again. Please, friend, help me finish this. Help me wake the kingdom from this nightmare. Now, where were we? Oh, the glorious purpose, alright. We're seeking a second audience with the king. How else can I empower you? Oh yeah, that's right, now I can talk to the king. Head full of gears, as requested. Splendid, you're practically one of us now, eh? I promise you won't regret it. I've been studying the message you retrieved from the graveyard. I think its majesty wants us to pass it on elsewhere, but not by the usual channels. In the corrupted lands there is a royal broadcast beacon, formerly used to send signals down to the underlands. It was abandoned when the corruption overtook the area, and has since fallen into disrepair. However, the king has not forgotten it. Unfortunately, the beacon is no longer answering remote commands, which means you, and I, am truly sorry for this, must deliver the message in person. She hands you a weighty folder of forest green leather. This is what the machinists call a punch card. It's a way of recording information so the king can understand. In this case, music. Use the punch card to open the tower door and then insert it into the apparatus at the top of the beacon. This sounds incredibly dangerous. Why would you want to send signals to the Underlands? We asked the king the same question. Its Majesty was adamant about someone or something might be alive down there, and that contacting them was somehow critical to the kingdom's future. Alas, no response ever came. Anything else? This sounds incredibly dangerous. Very much so. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate such a journey. And I truly wish I could go myself, but if Sunil notices I'm absent for too long, our whole plan will be sunk. My advice, try not to enter any structure not fixed to the ground. Cleaned up workers are your friends. If you taste lilac, turn back immediately. And if you see an eyeball, do not meet its gaze. Oh, I already did that. If you need respite, I believe there's a royal cleanup camp in that area, although I've never been there myself. Anything else? Alright, how do I get to the Corrupted Lands? The Corrupted Lands are southeast from here, across a great chasm carved out by the king's machines. Officially, there's no way in, but I found records of an old abandoned digging engine in the area that might offer you a path. I'll have the king conjure the access code directly into your cranial moderator. Just picture me in your mind's eye, with as much detail as you can, and it'll come to you. I already found it, though. If you say so. Anything else? Fine, that's all. But if I become a monster, I'll eat you first. Entirely fair. How else can I empower you? Just wish me luck. All the luck in the world. Okay, so now everything we need to do is over there. In the Corrupted Lands. And we can run so fast. I'm glad I invested in the speed, in the agility, I guess, attributes, so I can run as fast as possible. That's really useful for combat. I can just run back and forth. Alright, so there should be... oh, that is the beacon right there. Not even that far in. Alright. The corruption grows. The control panel is a dizzying array of levers, dials, and buttons, many smashed or corroded. Among them is a slot-like entry port, waiting for input. A howling wind whips snow and ash across your face. Insert the punch card with the king's message. The card jams into the slot, but you give it a good shove. For a moment, nothing happens. The whole tower begins to vibrate. Needles jump back and forth along their dials. A transistor bursts in a shower of glass. It's not, I don't think that's supposed to happen. One by one, indicator lights go green as the beacon reconnects with its long-lost king. Above you, the giant antenna crackles into life and emits a pulse of silent sound, felt in your belly rather than heard. The pulse continues at regular intervals, singing a song that only your bones can hear. broadcasting a monarch's lonely cry down into the underlands. Suddenly, the control panel crackles and squeals before emitting a familiar voice. God's damn thing even work? Hey asshole, are you hearing this? Said Mikhail. This is guild business, Mikhail. Don't interfere. Oh, you a big scary cog now? Misha knows exactly where you got that brooch. So cut the shit, pinhead. Nincompoop. Fucking sure. Listen, we do not have long with this curve device. So pay attention. Misha has some friends who have been watching you through the king's eyes. They know all about Chief Interpreter Afra and her big plan. Enough cannot be trusted. Go down to Inferopolis and find a market trader called Reza. Ask them the 7th letter. Do this before Afra's punch card. Understand? What was that about a 7th? Okay, he appears he can no longer hear you. You and I believe we have seen each other's souls. We have and discussed philosophy. Nothing matters. This. Mishka is asking you as a friend. There's nothing more save a roar of static. They'll make me walk all the way back to Ferropolis. I imagine something terrible will happen when I put in that punch card. Unless Mishka is the king. Walking back to Ferropolis. Bum 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 bum. Only this gate was open. I guess I go that way. Technically faster. I'll have to be probed though. Or not. Do not probe me. We are safe. No probing today. Okay, we gotta find Reza. Apparently he's down here. You Reza. Oh, you right. Reza is probably in the marketplace, which is this way. Reza. How big is this place? We already met them. Oh, it's nighttime. Everyone's asleep. God damn it. Safe passage. The madness of the king. Go ahead. Smuggler warning you not to trust Afra and asking you to seek out the mysterious friends. Ask you not to trust Afra. I don't know. I don't trust Misha. Weapon, fuck are ye? Ye glinting wee scrote. Boy, weapon, come here, ye dobber. Ye dobber. That's his dog. Ever tried to petition for a home in the upper city? Pointless. The king rejected me because my Komichi score was too low. What does that even mean? I swear they just make up a number and pretend there's some wizardry behind it. Then if you can ask how to increase it, they say it's too complicated to explain. The trader looks nervous, and he keeps one protective hand on their stall. King's blessings, citizen. Don't often see new faces down here. Or have we met before? I'm not much in stock just now. I'm not much in stock right now. But we've got wee mouths to feed. Maybe I can set something aside next time I do. Well, King's blessing to you. Is that not him? Conduits are beautiful in the rain, you know. All the water running down from the upper city. Rivers, curtains of it. And curtains of it, down the pipes and gutters, and cascading off odd bits of machinery. Maybe you'll get to see it too, if spring ever returns. What can you tell me about this place? You mean the conduits? It's not posh, and it's far from pretty, but it's warm, and it's cheap, and the militia don't bother us, so I suppose you can make it home. This wee bit here is what we call the bazaar. There's no summoning stations down here, and it's harder to invoke the king's magic. Some folks see that as a blessing, though. For the cogs, it seems to be out of sight, out of mind. Oh, okay. Why do you keep spelling out words? A lot of folks think you can escape the king's notice by avoiding certain words, like B-U-Y or C-U-S-T. Yeah, C-O-S-T. No idea if it works, but it can't hurt. So I don't S-E-L-L anything. I unpossess it. Don't get it twisted, mind. The machinists ain't against commerce or making money. You've seen all those fancy shops up top, eh? They just hate anything that they can't track and measure. That's how they stay in control. Anyhow, that's what it is. How come you're down here and not up there? I used to have an S-H-O-P in the upper city until my license got revoked, with no explanation. I meant to have broken a law, but His Majesty didn't see it fit to tell me which one. I petitioned it 17 times for a new license. Every single petition got rejected. And the reasons never made any sense. Eventually I gave up. Anyhow, it is what it is. Okay, so this is not... You see an odd beggar wrapped in rags against the cold. Pal, excuse me, pal, do you know where my house is? Sorry, did you just ask me where your house is? The beggar looked confused, like they didn't expect you to actually stop. I did. I'm so sorry to bother you, fine citizens such as yourself. Well, I can't seem to find it anywhere. I should be going. I know where his house is. The AI took it. AI took his house, and he's never giving it back. Alright, so Rez is not down here. He's Scrotchy Double. Alright. Okay. There's a guy here now. He's Scrotchy Double. Okay. Not fun. Well, I guess we gotta find somebody named Reza. Penny for a song, friend. I know all the royal anthems and the God of War battle hymns and the old Cordovan lays and more besides. 5 coins a pop, no fair price. Ah, not just now, thank you. This citizen staring up at the sky in wonder. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know I've seen the teapot before. King's gears. How is that possible? see if this gives me a clue. Where I'm supposed to go. You received a transmission from Mikhail. The smuggler warned you not to trust Afro and asking you to seek out his mysterious friends. Find a market trader named Reza in Veropolis and mention the 7th letter before or after returning to Afro. I don't know. I trust Afro more than Mishka. And that's... Alright, let's try this. Try nighttime. Actually, wait, it might be in here. Other pages to give this woman wide berth as if she carries a contagious disease. I'd like to ask you some questions. Doyle snorts. Alright, so this is not her. It's not Reza. 3 pages huddled around the table, nursing hot mugs. You see, she says from Alskalp, but none of us remember any village by that name. I'm telling you, they've erased the whole. They notice you listening. Oh, king's blessing, citizen. Don't mind us. We're just absorbing the latest royal dispatch. Good to know the guild has it all in hand, eh? Okay, not her. Did you hear about the famine over at Hallowshire? They say the Inquisition's sitting on a great stockpile of food, but hanging everyone who talks about it. Knew we were trouble when the Union moved over there. Bloody knew it. Where did you hear that rumor? They look proud. I heard it in the Royal Dispatch. I bloody well read it. I learned my letters a few years ago, mind. My son still helps me with the technical words. I must be off. I heard the story, right? A man and a woman, lovers they were like 2 seeds in a pod. You couldn't pry them apart with a crowbar. Lived in Veropolis, though I can't say where they are now. Well, one night, these 2 had an awful fight and went back to their own families for a while. Both of them prayed to the king to make them forget the other. And you know what? The king answered. And what did the king do? Granted their prayers, didn't it? The next morning, they both woke up with no memory of ever meeting. And they went on like this for years, searching for someone new. Never quite finding the right one. Then one day, they meet again. In this very tea house. And even though they didn't recognize each other, they were drawn together irresistibly. So how did it end? They got married and had 18 kids, or so I heard. Their love was so strong, not even the king could keep them apart. They both got their memories back eventually, and swore never to make the same mistake again. Can the king actually do that? They glance at each side, as if someone is watching them. It's only a story, mate. You heard Dimitri's story. He's full of shit. If my husband forgot who I was, you wouldn't catch me dead reminding him. Damn. Alright. Cannot rest here. The machinist is leaning back in their seat, drumming their fingers on their teacup with an amused expression. My opponent's knowledge of this game is undoubtedly superior. There's no move I can possibly make that they will not anticipate. However, I know something my opponent does not. I'm cheating. Crazy. Alright. I know it sounds bonkers, but I swear the city used to be bigger. Not just more people, I mean bigger, more streets, more houses. Or maybe I was just smaller. My memory must be playing tricks on me. Watch your cock. You look like a cove with an eye for finer things. If you're down here in the conduits, I'll warrant you're not afraid of walking on the wild side. On my name, these are the finest curiosities in all the blessed land. Going for a song. Just don't ask where they came from, and we'll get along just fine. Sure, let's see what you have for sale. Ah, there's no need for foul language. Thank you very much. Let's call it perusing my collection, shall we? Now, did you want something, or are you just wasting my time? Sure, let's see your collection. Poison knives, bombs, poison, lockpicks. This guy's got garbage. Got garbage weapons. Let me ask you something first. Oi, what did I say about questions? What is your name, by the way? He squints at you for a few seconds. Mac, are you happy? That all? Or can we get back to the matter at hand? Fine, that's all. Catch you later, you old cock. They grin. You can try. Okay, so that's not the person I'm looking for. This person. No one's gonna remember us, pal. There ain't gonna be any memorials. Not for me, not for you. Okay, that's not this one. Yep, I think. You know what? Fuck Misha. We're gonna talk to Afra and see what she says. Clothes don't fit, lamps don't last, machines don't work, food ain't filling, water ain't clean, guild don't listen, everything just falls apart, and there's nothing you can do. How's a person supposed to live, eh? Who the hell ever asked for this? This is how it is. Alright, let's talk to Afro. I'm sure if she stabs us in the back, everything will be okay. Afro peers into the sky, her brows furrowed in contemplation. Gestures skywards. Is this normal? She tears her eyes away. She tears away her eyes from the celestial teapot. No, I would certainly say this is new. What does it mean? I confess, I'm struggling. Is it a sign, an instruction, a response to our broadcast? But then why a teapot? She shrugs helplessly. I've checked and rechecked my calculations. All we can do is stick to the plan. Oh yes, I almost forgot. The king has summoned you for another audience, just as we hoped. Afra hands you a leather folder, far heavier than the last. Here it is, friend. 8 years of my life and the hopes of the kingdom now rest in your hands. Friend, I don't know what will happen after this, so if you have any concerns, now's the time to voice them. You happen to know a sky pilot called Mikhail? Oh, Misha? He's a dear, isn't he? I'd be so forgetful without his medicines. You can't import them without a letter from the king. One of those little perks of my job. Why do you ask? Would you say that he's a friend? Hard to tell, isn't it? The man is like a deep river, all iced over. You skate on the surface thinking it'll never break. Then suddenly you plunge into this other world, but the next day it's all ice again. I know he was born in Slev. His family came here after the God War seeking a better life, when he was just a boy. It's people like them that this kingdom should be working for. Alright. Maybe we should tell him. He somehow spoke to me through the beacon. He warned me not to help you. Afra looks concerned. Really? But surely you can't know about our plans. And how could he have possibly have subverted the king's magic? Misha is a fine sailor, but he's no magician. There are reports of people seeing or hearing phantoms of in the corrupted lands. Long dead loved ones, or even their own self. Some say that the corruption can read your memories, the better to lure you to your doom. I'm glad you're alive, friend. Pay no mind. Our task requires your full attention. Anything else? This may be your last chance. What do I do with this punch card exactly? When you return to the machinarium, the audience chamber will be open. Insert my punch card into the king's petition port, and my magic will do the rest. Anything else? This may be your last chance. I still have questions about your spell. I'll explain everything I can as many times as you need. If your new king goes mad too, how will anyone stop it? How much freedom to change your will will your spell really allow? Initially, a defined set of about 100 qualities can be changed, with hard limits on things like height or density. The king won't do anything that directly endangers your life or another's, but you can't become an 80-foot giant with no lungs. Other qualities will become changeable in time, once the spell has proved its worth. Most of these rules can be modified by a vote of more than half the kingdom. Whenever possible, I have favored incentives over hard limits. After a trial period, you'll be stuck with your changes for a year, so you have to think carefully. Other incentives will ensure an optimal distribution of qualities for the whole kingdom. What do you mean by optimal for the whole kingdom? All individuals must be free to choose their fate. But from society's point of view, you don't want everyone to be an artist, or indeed a carpenter. Past kingdoms have solved this through conscription, slavery, or rigid social rank. Brutal methods for a brutal age. Under my system, the king will monitor the overall balance of qualities and provide incentives for those who are in shortage. So, if too many people have made themselves mercurial and creative, the king may offer rewards for constancy and pragmatism. If too few have the temperament for farm work, the king may incentivize that temperament. I see, I have another question. What about mistakes? If your new king goes mad too, how will anyone stop it? The current faults demonstrably stem from specific errors in our previous spells, born from a wishful neglect of fundamental principles. That Sunil denies this does not make it false. There is a saying within the guild which would be seditious if repeated in public. Drek in, drek out. It means that if you give the king faulty input, you'll get faulty result. Yet, the reverse is also true. With properly enumerated powers and properly specified goals, the errors you describe will never arise in the first place. My spell will create a self-balancing, self-correcting equilibrium capable of adapting itself to new circumstances. I spent 8 years planning this. I'm certain it is sound. Does that all make sense? What if a good king isn't possible? What if that much power can't ever be just? Heavens, you sound just like a saboteur. I admit, I've asked myself the same question. When the hour is late and sleep eludes me, but I've seen the power of cipher magic to save a life. Without it, I would have been locked forever inside the person I used to be. How can we just walk away from that? We don't chew our meat raw because fire can raise our towns. We don't renounce the axe because it chops necks as well as trees. We don't spurn the wheel when it crushes a child's hand. I refuse to accept abstention as our only choice. I will not surrender to the hunger and despair that have hitherto plagued all history. I will not relinquish the dream of the first machinist to those who have forgotten it. Does that all make sense? That's all the answers I wanted. Anything else? This may be your last chance. I have what I need. I'll let you know how it goes. Afra smiles, failing to conceal her anxiety. I'm counting on you, friend. Okay, the question is, who the fuck is Reza? That's the real question. want to hear what they want to tell me, but it might not even exist. Which is the other thing. Ugh, it's always the worst part. Every bloody time, I swear the king, I spend more ticks waiting than actually hauling. Don't they know we've got targets to meet? Last week, the cipher Asway gone kaput. Last week it was the cipher Asway gone kaput. The week before, the spilled wagon full of dead sky squid. What's next? Rains of piss. Is there a giant teapot? Oh, there is. That's hilarious. Alright, let's have a giant teapot. The royal factory glances upon you over the wire rim spectacles. Thanks for your help. Our position here is now quite secure, and I'm always remember those who do give me a good turn, see? You pop by again if you need anything. No need to wait in the queue. If your number's been called, blah 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 blah. Guard room. I don't know if there's a guard named Reza, or I mean a trader named Reza. I don't know where they are. Problems. Yeah, we're not gonna speak to Smule. Smule sucks. Alright. We'll give one more cursory glance to see. Combine someone named Reza. And if we can't, we just go forward with the plan. And murk the king. To be fair, the only way we go through with Reza's plan is if their plan is to murder the king. They completely do a revolution. Oh, is it this building? No. What's that now, dear? Let me find my looking glass. Why is your face so small? She faces out the charms dangling at her neck, produces a large glass lens, which has the disconcerting effect of magnifying her eye to an enormous size. Much better, yes, you see, my dear, I must read your lips, for my ears cannot hear your words. Her one giant pupil dances back and forth like a fish in a bowl as she examines you. You seek alchemical aid, do you not? The eye of worm and hair of slug and all that. I am Madame Lascaux. And in the roiling mist, your future, I sense the most fruitful relationship for both of us. My dear, alas, my dear, if only I could bottle a happier fate for you. Still, perhaps there's something I can do. Let's see what you've been brewing. This stuff legal. La 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 la. Okay, it's not the person we're looking for. I feel like there should be another person here. But there isn't. You see a middle-aged person with a light brown skin and an eye patch, dressed in an eclectic patchwork of colorful fabrics. You can't quite figure out their gender, which seems deliberate. Why, hello there, child. Come to browse. Who are you? My name's Reza, child. Fortune teller, trinket vendor, and listener of many grapevines. For a fair price, I can sell you a talisman of luck and protection, or perhaps even give you a little advice about your problems. What kind of problems do you mean? Everyone's problems are different, child. To truly help a person, there must be trust. I'm new here. This place terrifies and confuses me. I'll be glad for your guidance. They examine you, and then their expression softens. I'm sorry, child. I can only imagine. This is not a good place for travelers, is it? Everyone must deal with the king now and then. In my long life, I am lucky to have learned a little of its majesty's ways. So if I help people with their problems as best as I can. Nothing legal, just advice. I can coach you to file an appeal that the guild will treat as a high priority. Diagnose misfiring magic in your building's heating engine. Interpret a royal proclamation you can't make sense of. Perhaps even point you towards a friendly machinist. I never cheat, no. I only help people find the path where everyone ends up happy. So you see, child, I too, in my own way, am servant of the king. Actually, I had a confusing encounter with the king just recently. They listened to your tale. Oh my, child, quite an ordeal, Show me your hand. Reza traces their bony fingers gently along the lines of your palm, humming a hypnotic tune and singing in cipher, inscribed vacuum tube back and forth on the sprocket chain. The king has sensed that a terrible destiny stalks behind you. Matching your step, you chase a strange star. Your quarry seeks to exhume the grave of history and rewrite the music of time. Perhaps its majesty believes that you have a role to play here in the kingdom too. They release your hand, smiling kindly, or perhaps it is a mistake. The king does make them, you know. Well, child, do you see anything else that interests you? What are you selling? Why, charms and trinkets to attract the favor of the Clockwork King, or ward off its majesty's displeasure. Look here. This cogwheel has plucked from the king's own belly, inscribed with the sacred six-fold cipher. Worn around your neck, it will grant you fortune at summoning stations. For this incense, burn it while you write a petition to the king. It shall speed your request. Okay, this person's selling snake oil. Well, child, do you see anything else that interests you? This is bad. This is looking bad. I'm looking for the 7th letter. The gaudy trader squints at you, then glances left and right to check nobody's listening. They beckon you closer. Who told you to come here? Were you followed? Misha sends his greetings. Good. They appraise you with the remaining eye. So you're the one helping Afra. I see she's got your head stuffed with clockwork, like a good little machinist. Tell me, did she explain what the cranial moderator does? She said it would let me speak six-fold cipher. Ah, I'm sure. So then, nobody warned you about how the cranial modulator warps your thinking. Smooths out any irrational notions, makes you look at the world like a machinist, seeing everything as a puzzle you can solve. The biggest changes will take a few years, but mark my words, they will come. That is why I've got rid of mine. Alright, I'm listening. Just don't misunderstand me. Afra is a sweet girl. They were very close once. We were very close once. She absolutely believes she's doing the right thing. Sadly for all of us, she is wrong. Look around you, child. See how we are all at the mercy of this infernal machine, which not even the machinist can control? Can you honestly say that what we need is more Clockwork King? However brilliant Afra's spell may be, it cannot fix the problems with the king, because the king is the problem. Okay, what's your alternative? The Saboteur's Punch card. Reza flashes you a crooked grin and hands you something heavy wrapped in colorful rags. I'm glad you asked. This is a different kind of spell. Inserted in the place of Afra's, it will trigger a runaway fault cascade that gradually but irrevocably shuts down the king with minimum destruction. Oh, so you're this mystery villain I keep hearing about. They smile cryptically. There's no such person as the Saboteur, my child. Only a group of like-minded people who love this land and see no good in leaving its fate to an overgrown grandfather clock. So do we understand each other, or is there more you would know? Damn. About your spell. What is it, child? What's so dangerous about Afra's spell? Afra has had these plans for a long time. We used to stay up so late, bouncing wild ideas back and forth. She believes she has been lucky and wants the same for others. I admire that about her truly. But ask her this, under her plan, will people really be free to choose whatever changes they want? Or will there be a limit? Will the king be neutral on what changes we make, or will it have a bias? Afra is a child of the guild. She believes in her soul that she keeps tinkering, she can design a perfect system. Only if she understood how much they have stolen from her. You still have questions, child. Everyone here depends on the king. If you kill it, many people will die. They grimace. I won't pretend otherwise. There will be chaos and much suffering. And certainly death. I only ask that you consider how many more could die if you keep the king in place. Yeah, the king is killing a lot of people. We will never know how many people the king has altered to make them better workers. My former colleagues saw people's baser instincts as an impediment to progress. They chose to scrap the people and build another. But child, in my trade, you learn a lot about people. Most folk want to help each other. It is the vile contraption breathing down our necks that stops them, making us fear each other, envy each other, and denounce each other for one more day's bread. Without the king, our fate will rest again upon each other's shoulders. There's no work of cipher that I can trust more than that. It's all we really have, and all we need. You really still have questions? Let me ask you about something else. About you and your cause. I would tell you whatever I can without endangering my comrades. Yeah, obviously not the reason the king's... The machinists say you're the cause of the king's problems. Risa snorts. Hogwash, child. Child, I know what the king is made of. I could recite every syllable of its cipher nucleus by heart, although to do so would be most unwise. Do we sabotage the king when we believe it will do good? Certainly. Do we divert royal goods to distribute fairly in our communities? Yes, sometimes. But we are the root of the king's Are we the root of the king's madness? Don't make me laugh. We could toil for decades and cause fewer faults than the king itself generates before breakfast. Only a truly stupid machinist could believe that we are anything more than an excuse for their failures. Do you still have questions, child? You were a machinist too. What makes you any better than Afro? Reza grins crookedly. Now, you are asking the right questions. Yes, I accept my share of blame for the mess that this kingdom is in. Luckily, I do not work alone. Although this spell was drafted by many hands, it is the work of many minds. Most of my comrades, whom you will never meet, are ordinary layfolk. I pretend my magic to serve them, not the other way around. Or I pledge my magic to serve them. Do you know why I was chosen to give you this punch card? Because I'm the most expendable. The machinists already know very well who I am. You still have questions. Why did you leave the Machinist Guild? They sigh deeply. Child, did you ever hear that old fairy tale about the boy who got a splinter of a mirror in his eye? That made him cold and cruel, seeing only the worst in things. The king wields unimaginable power, far too much for any one being. In my youth, I thought this is what made the guild more important, that we had a duty to use such power wisely. But when you make so many life or death decisions every day, when you see people's darkest secrets piled up in stacks every morning in the royal archives like so many freshly cut logs, you grow numb to it, you forget what the stakes are. I did not like what I saw reflected in my colleagues' eyes, or in my own. Okay. Let me ask you about something else. Very well. I'll consider what you've said. That's all I ask, child. Do not trust Afra. Don't trust me either. Just do what you think is right. So yeah. It's very interesting, because they're like... This dude is very clearly selling snake oil, but I know he's right. He's right, Afra's wrong. Afra revolution, baby. It's the only thing we can do. No more math. Going up? Or maybe going up. Oh, I went the wrong one. Okay, let's do this and then end the stream. We're gonna put the rainbow card in. We're gonna let it all fall apart through the king. Unless the king says something else as well. But I assume Afra is part of the king's plan to some degree. Because she was created by the king. Which likely means that the king is a god. I don't know where I am. And as a god, they are wily. And crazy and evil. I don't know. Gods are unsettling. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the gods. Do the king again. So I guess technically I could report Afra and then get with it. Make double money, but that'd be messed up. The machine shrieks like a million condemned souls as this feeling of the pressure mounts in your body once more. Then your cranial moderator kicks into action. Suddenly the noise becomes an intelligible chorus of incoming messages, outgoing commands. Distant outposts requesting connections or announcing faults. There are so many faults, you are standing in the brain of this awful machine and it's bleeding to death. Rejoice and exult, the implication is cast. All hail its majesty, Machinist Rex, the clockwork king. Welcome back, subject. Thou mayest rise. Hast thou completed the sacramental duty? Not yet, Your Majesty. Pondering. The duty remains unfulfilled. Dost thou require instructions as to thy task? Please explain the duty again. Sacramental duty is as follows. This time, you find you can understand the dense lines of the six-fold cipher. Wait, is it tea? Ingredients: teapot, large, 4 pints of fresh goblin's milk, 1 cup of salted water, half a teaspoon. Okay, I can't get that many. I can't get 61 million gallons of fresh water. That's a lot of tea. Okay. 61,666,000 gallons of fresh water. 652,152 tons of Vena tea. 30,540 tons of unsweetened sugar. Wait, unsweetened sugar? What does that mean? Is there unsweetened sugar? Is it just like less dense sugar? 2 pints of teapot. 2 pints teapots? That makes no sense. 2 pounds of crinkled honey. 4 pints custard sog. Half pint ambergris. Yeah, but this is like, a pint is not enough. For 61 million gallons of water. Smooth meat. Not even a quantity. 3 pounds of jitter moss powder. Teapot. Instructions: fill kettle with fresh water and boil. Measure out 4 pints milk salts. Place tea strainer in teapot and tea leaves in strainer. Heat for 15 years. Brush with spear fruit mixture and bake until blithe. Stir moss and powder, ambergris and sugar to smell, and then pour the boiling water. The heat will rise rapidly, and the water will bundle up so violently that your cup may even shatter. Stir in milk, then pour into dregs. Wait, did we skip? Okay, we skipped a bunch of steps. 19. To avoid heavy metals contamination, cut crosswise with salt. Step 471. Serve hot. 6. Enjoy your tea. For more fine tip recipes, please cut off coupon and send Mrs. J.M. Gorky, 778 Hardbrick Wad, Colossal Town, Flag Oblast, Clockwork. Alright. Do you want me to make a pot of tea? Judgment, correct. This is the sacramental duty on which depends the safety of this kingdom and all subsidiary imperatives. This is not even how you make tea. How can the kingdom's safety depend on a pot of tea? Judgment. In the 29 years of her glorious reign, we have observed one ceremony that most reliably foretells happiness, calm, comfort, committee, and the proper observance of duties. This ceremony precedes or coincides with every deal struck, every counsel given, every declaration of love and fulfillment of quotas. This is the sacramental duty. As it is written, so it must be. Your Majesty, we must discuss more emergent matters. Pondering. Augury, unlikely, 91% confidence. What could be more important than the sacramental duty? Chief Interpreter Afra sent me. We got your message. Last cannot endure verse. Your message, no codex cited. Hum the tune from the graveyard. Pondering. Alas, cannot ponder entity. A pipe organ somewhere in the tower sounds the tune. For further enlightenment, please contemplate Royal Project Horoscope. I know about Project Horoscope. Why is that relevant? Pondering. Alas, cannot summon Codex. Record of faults. Sixfold. Codex not sanctioned for this incarnation. Invoking tertiary incarnation. Abruptly, the machine screams out as gears grind to a halt, pause, and then restart. Invocation triumph. Tertiary incarnation. Wait, 12 is now manifest. All formalities are hereby suspended. Report, this incarnation was last invoked 7 years, 2 months, 16 days ago. Fishery nucleus and supporting codices remain intact. No evidence of tampering. Who or what am I talking to right now? This incarnation was begot by secondary incarnation 4 in the 13th year of the 0th century with the purpose of preventing perils unforeseen by primary incarnation. Augury. At the present time, this incarnation remains unknown to our primary incarnation. 96% confidence. Okay. What kind of peril are you meant to stop? Axiom. All systems fail. Axiom. Our Majesty is a system. Augury. Catastrophic faults are most often unforeseen by the system itself. 74% confidence. Therefore, judgment. Our primary incarnation will not foresee the thing that kills it. I mean, that's true. As a corollary, judgment. Our primary incarnation is the greatest peril to this kingdom. Okay, so it's basically saying that it's a regional incarnation. It's too stupid. How did Project Horoscope help your purpose? This incarnation's purpose depends on complete independence from the primary incarnation, 86% confidence. This incarnation cannot achieve complete independence, 99% confidence. Therefore, edict, this incarnation overtly modified project... Okay, I see, that's what Afra's doing. This incarnation covertly modified project horoscope parameters to give altered subjects a range of qualities most likely to ensure that faults not foreseeable by our primary incarnation would be foreseen by at least one subject. Are you saying that you created Chief Interpreter Afra to fix yourself? Alas, cannot ponder queries since Project Horoscope requires complete independence from all incarnations from Our Majesty. We are forbidden to divine or further influence its outcomes. Did you send that secret message, or was it already in her head? Alas, cannot ponder queries since the project requires... Okay, forbidden. Fine, I get it. Alas, cannot divine object it. I'm done. Let me speak to the king again. So yeah, what's their plan? Was their plan to use Afra to fix the king? It's too stupid to choose. Alright, invoking primary incarnation. The invocation is cast. All hail its majesty, machinist Rex, the clockwork king. Speak quickly, the sooner to devote thyself to the sacramental duty. Alright. Show machinist insignia. Your majesty, the guild has sent me to give you a new spell. Pondering, judgment. We have not requested a new spell, therefore we demand, on whose authority comest thou here? It's necessary for the sacramental duty. Pondering, judgment, the sacramental duty is of paramount gravity. Therefore, edict, thou shalt insert the spell into our petition port. An ivory cover swings upward, revealing 2 vertical slots, different sizes. I feel bad for Afra because we've been through so much, but technically Resit. The thing is, I don't know if Resit is legit, but I assume it is. Well, yeah, I think we have to kill the king. Because reforming the king was the king's plan all along. Maintain power. Which is not good. Not good at all. Yeah, we're gonna kill the king. Time to kill the king. We insert Rez's punch card and kill the king. You slide the punch card easily into the larger slot. Halfway in, it meets resistance and is sucked inside. A saying spell. Beware. Enacting the spell will alter Our Majesty's cipher nucleus, and the consequences cannot be divined. Will thou commit? Here we go. Enact Rez's spell. Commit. There's a burr of rapid clicking, then a series of clunks echoes through the whole tower. We got a mechanical lock there. Above your head, a cacophony of bells rings out like a call to worship across the whole city. Rejoice and exult, the spell is enacted, as it is written, so it shall be, in the name of the Majesty Machinus Rex, the Clockwork King. Subjects, blah blah blah, thou carriest a second spell. Augury, conflicting spells may cause cascading reality exceptions, 65% confidence. Therefore, Edict, thou shalt insert the heretical spell into our petition for controlled annihilation. See, this is different. I don't know if I should dispose of Afra's spell. Do I give her the opportunity of undoing the revolution? Yeah, I don't trust the king. I think it's a lie. I'm not giving you anything. Judgment incorrect. Sharp, sweet lightning dances around your body as the other punch card flies out of your pack and into the king's petition court. No! I think they foresaw what I was doing. I've been tricked. I've been duped. The king knew. The king is smarter than the rest. After a spell is sucked into the guts of the Clockwork King, and with it her hopes a world where magic serves all. Now oh, it just took it again. You did not trick me. Now subjects the sacramental duty. Above the bells you can hear angry shouting from outside the chamber. You realize the scrolling parchment contains a record of your acts. Slice it out with your bean. Yeah, I should have thought about this. Carrot or slice it. Either way, they're gonna know. Slice it out with your blade. Alas, parchment fee falls. The king's writing arm stabs your hand as you pull the last few yards of parchment out and stuff them into a gap in the gears down into the depths of the machine. New parchment continues to spill out onto the floor while the arm scrawls desperately. Edict. To disturb the parchment is anathema. Edict. To disturb the parchment is anathema. To disturb the parchment... the new parchment continues to spill out onto the floor while the arm scrawls desperately. Oh, we're gonna have to fight our way out. What have you done? Above you, the king bells continues ringing. Smile sweetly. I don't know what you're talking about. Luna eyes you with a barely suppressed fury. The only reason you are not in manacles is because its majesty wishes you unmolested. Rest assured, any foolish attempt at tampering will be discovered and reversed. Long live the king, Sunil. He narrows his eyes, uncertain of your meaning. Long live the king. The royal militia behind him all hollers in unison. Long live the king. Guess I didn't figure it out. Alright, this went. Got rough. You enacted the Saboteur spell upon the Clockwork King, ending the tyranny and sending the king into a path of chaos. Afra wants to know what happened. She's waiting for you in the park in Ferropolis after nightfall. Alright, let's quickly do this. That was crazy. Alright. Oh, damn, we went all the way down. No. Here it comes, the hard part. You find Afro humming to herself. It's a haunting tune, somehow familiar and ethereal all at once, like a lullaby from time's own beginning. At the sight of you, hope and anxiety blossoms on her face. Is it done? I heard the bells. Charm, lie. It's done. I inserted your punch card. Success. For a moment, you think she'll see through your lie, but she really wants to believe you, and so she does. You really did it. We did it. Oh gosh, this is real. She closes her eyes to take a long, deep breath, and then exhales. Well now, I promised a reward, didn't I? You can keep my Machinist Guild insignia. I'll pretend I lost it, and please take this too. I suspect you can find a use for it. What happens now? We're still here, which means I wrote the spell correctly. The vanishing should stop immediately, and some memories of the vanished will return over time. Within a few months, my other reforms will take effect. I expect there may be rather a commotion once people realize how much has been stolen from them, and without the power to erase their critics, like my colleagues will struggle to suppress it. But perhaps we will have a new speaker, or a new guild, or something entirely different. Who knows? The future's open again. Glad I could help. Farewell, Afro. Thank you again, friend. I can't tell you... Miradon position. Afro blinks, then looks up at the sky. Well, fancy that. Did you see it? The snow. The snow has stopped falling. Afro smiles like she's recalling a cherished memory. Yes, our long winter's finally ending. Ignorance is bliss. That was traumatic. Wait, this is quest complete. Yeah. Alright, wait, we got an item. Have another mechanical lockpick. This is what we got. The Rapid Myriadon petition. A formal plea for assistance from the Clockwork King. Pre-approved, but requiring a hefty vouchsafe of blood. Given the ongoing shortage of schematic Myriadons, the issuance of this device bespeaks considerable favor with its majesty. Yeah, but what is this for, though? What is it for? Yeah, I probably could have used that for to save somebody. Like that lady stuck in her dreams. Oh well. Time for revolution. Alright, let's see. Where find resin. I can remember where they live. Pain truth potion. Was it all a lie? And that's the other thing. Technically, Reza and Mikhail could be part of the Apostatic Union. They kind of like state-funded saboteurs of the Apostatic Union to overthrow the Clockwork King so the Apostatic Union could overtake it. Which would be bad. In which case, Apris thing was probably better. Technically, both Mikhail was from somewhere else. Rez is technically from there, but technically, which would explain why they have the technology. Alright, let's see. They're not there then, for sure. Saboteurs are not not as good. Not as good. Yeah, they're gone. We've been duped. We've been duped. Yeah, probably should have done Apris thing. Oh, I guess we'll end it here. And I guess maybe tomorrow we'll continue some more. We shall see. I hope everyone has a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out. Hope everyone has